Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the official War Commander Rogue Assault audio podcast. I am your community manager and host. You guys might know me in the game as CM Swag. My host today is none other than the illustrious Mr. Josh Hendren, the general manager of the game. Thank you for joining us.
No problem.
So, we have upcoming changes. It's been a few weeks since we've done an episode, but I want to wait until we've actually have a good amount of stuff to talk about. I think one of the most exciting things we have coming up in the very near future, and quite frankly, some of you listening to this episode, you might have it already. We have something called strikes.
Yes.
What are strikes? What do they do? Why do I want to use them?
Sure. Strikes are a single-use item that provide a significant buff or reinforcement to your basic combat troops. So a good example of that would be you might win a nuclear strike that when you use it in your main combat, whether that be on a boss battle or on a PvE target like a stronghold or an outpost or another player combat, you can drop this nuke and destroy a significant part of somebody's base and then go in and clean up with your normal troops. Another good example might be for a lower level, you might earn a group of S-13s that you can bring out and have them reinforce your main platoons. So strikes are going to be dropping based on your level, and they're going to be dropping from quick match PvP during the strike battles that are going to come out in the next few weeks.
So basically, like when you talked about the S-13s, kind of like how we have some campaign missions where you've been granted extra rhinos for this mission, like that kind of a thing?
Yeah, that's the type of thing we're talking about. So you'll either have one of two types. You'll have an artillery or a missile strike or a nuke type of thing, or you'll have the basic troop reinforcements that are going to be provided as well. And so you'll be able to go in and pick these things on the scout screen and then use only one of them during each particular combat round.
Well, now I need to know how I earn these things.
Sure. So we're going to be coming out with something called strike battles. It's something we're going to be running at least once a week, and it'll be your opportunity to go and earn them. So you can earn them from doing your basic PvP incursion battles during that day. So when that day and the strike battles are live, you can go and earn them by just hitting other players and getting gold crates or silver crates or what have you. That's how you're going to earn the strikes.
So they're in silver and gold crates. So it's a bit easier.
Yeah, they are in silver and gold crates.
Cool. So a little bit back there, you mentioned artillery. I know this. I don't need to ask you. We're actually going to be removing artillery forward operating bases from the game. So can you give us a little bit of insight into why that change is being made? Because that would be the first question I ask as a player. Well, why are you doing that?
Sure. The main reason is we just didn't feel like there was a place for those in the game. Most of the forward operating bases that we have in the game are defensive structures, and they make sense as a defensive structure. But we felt like there was a much better place to have strikes in the game that could take over the position of the forward operating base, which is the artillery. We're leaving all the other FOBs as they are, but we're removing the artillery FOB because we wanted to really give you that opportunity to use something like artillery or missiles across the entirety of the game. And if we had strikes and artillery at the same time, that would just be an overpower that you could do on the world map specifically.
Sure. So players had to put a little bit of resources into both deploying and upgrading these artillery. Are we going to take care of them
on
we
that
are.
Front? It's important that if players have invested in something that we want to compensate them for when we remove something from the game. So we're going to be reimbursing them on resources that they've spent to either place or to upgrade those particular FOBs.
Cool. Like, can I use multiples of these artilleries? Like, so say like if I had, a couple in war zones, can I use more than one while I'm attacking a base?
Not the same target. So if you're attacking another player, you can use basically one of the strikes. Okay. And that could be either a reinforcement with units or it could be the artillery or the missile one if you were able to get it from one of the crates during the strike battle. If you're going against a boss battle, you'll be able to use multiple as long as you have for every redeploy that you use. So in your first attack, you can use a strike, and if you redeploy, you'll be able to use another strike during that redeployment.
All right. Moving on, something that I'm really interested to hear about. We are removing the requirement of using redeploy tokens to hit strongholds multiple times, and we're going back to oil. So seems like kind of an interesting change that we made that change, and now we're going back again. What was that based on?
I mean, we put in redeployment tokens on strongholds. We thought that would be a better way to play with those PvE targets on the world map. We heard and have read a lot on Reddit and the different forums that players haven't enjoyed that change at all, and so we're pulling them back from that. And we're basically saying we're still going to keep the strongholds multi-hit targets, but that second attack no longer requires redeployment tokens. It's purely an oil cost at that point. So you can hit the target just like they were before. So no redeployment costs on strongholds anymore.
So now I can save those tokens for the
boss battle.
Like La Muerte strongholds, and cool. So that's the stuff that's coming in like the next couple of weeks here. Can we talk about something that's maybe a couple of months out, something for the players to look forward to, maybe 2-3 months down the line?
Sure. A couple things we're doing. We're focusing on a few different areas of the game in the next few months. So one of them is we really want to take the leaderboard that we have right now for Incursion and kind of make it more robust than it currently is. So we're going to be making changes to that in the coming months where we're going to put in more tiers into that leaderboard structure and then have rewards based on how high in that tier structure you go.
Nice.
So that'll be something we're going to be doing in the next few months. Another thing we're going to be doing is we're going to continue to kind of focus and put some time and effort into making the world map something interesting and fun at a meta and strategy level. And so we'll have control points we'll be going in there within the next few months as well. And that's an opportunity for players to seize control of whole ZAs and kind of own them as an alliance for a period of time. So those are both things that we're going to be doing in the next few months.
ZA meaning zone area. I always
correct.
have to translate there every once in a while. Okay, so we have a few questions that are submitted by the community. Again, the best place to do this, guys, is on our subreddit. So either on a web browser, go to reddit.com/r/Rogue Assault, or download the Reddit app and just look for r/Rogue Assault. First question comes from Hogan of the Detonators. Will there be a Command Center 7 version of La Muerte Strongholds in the new Nador map? So I think it's a little late for this, but it's a good question to ask going forward for events. Will we have CC7 Strongholds?
Yeah, going forward for the La Muerte events or any new boss battle event that we do, we're planning on trying to get in a specific map per CC. As opposed to what we have right now, which is basically a tiered structure of 3 maps that kind of split the difference between multiple CCs. Mm-hmm. So we definitely want to have a unique map for each of the CCs, and that's something we're going to be working towards. Hopefully we get that in for the next one.
Great. Yeah, good question. Next one comes from Hannibal. I'll try and adapt this in my player voice. Think maybe it's time for a new theme? Surely you can add a new faction and boss base. La Muerte was good for the first few times, but it's getting old.
Yeah. It is getting old, and we do plan on having new themes and new factions coming out relatively soon. So we should see a new faction coming in May, and that'll be the new introduction of that faction.
Excellent. And the final question comes from Daniel Panfe. Panfe? I'm hoping, whatever. It's more of a comment. Humvees should be more effective against choppers, at least more effective than machine gunners, simply because the cannon gunners on Humvees are definitely more powerful than any gun infantry can carry. So he's playing the reality card, saying, like out in the field, I'm pretty sure a Humvee would trump a chopper more than infantry could. Any comment on that?
Well, the only comment I'll make there is that we're constantly looking at the meta there for unit balance in the game, and we want to get that right. And so we'll be tweaking those things probably at least once a month, trying to be as minimal as possible on the changes that we make. But we want there to be a good balance from unit to unit combat, just like we want there to be a good balance between unit and turret combat in the game. So there's a decent chance that the Humvees versus the helicopters might get a pass. I I don't recall if that's on the docket for this next month, but there's a chance that might happen.
Excellent. All right. Well, Josh, thank you so much. We want to do these not just to do them, but whenever you guys see a notification that there's a new episode, that there's going to be some pretty interesting content here, and give you guys some insights on what's coming up. So be sure to subscribe, whether that be iTunes or Podcast Addict or whatever service you want to do. And also, please leave us a review. We'd love to hear what you think of the show, especially on iTunes. Rate us, give us a review. We hope you think 5 stars, but if not, we will strive for that. Josh, again, thank you so much.
No problem.
And we'll see you guys next time.